Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. For this one, it is the first of a series of 3 videos that I'll be doing over the weekend, all for the Amiga, and it's basically going to be 3 different games that are all truly phenomenal Amiga games. Unfortunately, they are phenomenal for all the wrong reasons, because all 3 of them are absolute fucking toilet. So with this one, we get all of these fucking credits right at the start. So let's just actually, we don't have to press fire now to skip them. But this is right, here we go. This is Insanity Fight, which was released by MicroDeal in 1987. There you go. Obviously 87, very early in the Amiga's lifespan, and Amiga games around this time were really all about trying to show off what the Amiga could do in terms of, usually it was in terms of audio and visual. The gameplay tended to be pretty standard fare. There weren't that many games that really were amazing in terms of their gameplay as well. So I don't need to worry about the data disk. So press fire button and you get this title page where, let's face it, that ship that you see, that is lifted straight from the artwork of Parallax. You also get this truly horrendous fucking music in the background.
Get ready, Starfighter. Starfighter ready.
As well as that cringing fucking intro when you start. Now, I don't know if this has started my go, or if it is, yeah, it's a demo mode. So, yeah, you get to see what you are in store for. And you cannot exit this. Oh, yes, you can. Right, I'll press space. All it did was pause it. There we go, right, at last. So yeah, you'll notice the demo mode has 1 life. But to give you an idea of how well programmed this game was, if you start your first go before that demo mode begins, you only get 1 life. Normally you get 5, but no. First time you start the game, before the demo mode comes along, you only get the 1 life that was reserved for the demo. So yeah, real programming genius behind this one. It's doing the fucking demo mode again. It really does look like you can't actually skip the demo, which means you can't press fire to start, so you've got to wait for the fucking demo mode to end before you can actually play it. Because let's face it, looking at this, I'm sure like everyone, you can't wait to fucking play this. Right, so let's get a game underway. So once again we get the great intro sequence.
Get ready, Starfighter. Starfighter ready.
Oh, that speech, believe it or not, is digitised. It sounds awful. There are Commodore 64 games that have far superior speech than that. So anyway, here we are, and if I pause the game, we'll have a quick look at the display at the bottom. So you'll see either side you have these yellow and red squares. That's your speed. You can actually change how fast you're scrolling up through the level. Next to that, if we carry on going from left to right, there's a green arrow which helpfully tells you the direction to go. Then all this guff in the middle section most of it is utterly pointless. But at the bottom of it, you'll see there's this health bar that goes down as you take hits until it gets to the very end, and then you lose a life. You'll see we have 5 lives. Underneath that is 18. That's how many ships you have destroyed. Well, actually, ships and ground targets. You have to reach a certain level, or a certain number of them, before you get off the level. And you have to do it in 1 life. Then right at the dead centre there, the top one, which shows 230, the top number display, that is your current score, and underneath is the high score. So let's get out of the pause mode, get back into the game. So most of the time, although you can change how fast you accelerate through the level, you don't really want to do that, because a lot of the time you can end up going a bit too fast and not being able to see a fucking thing as far as any of the ground targets. You also notice that the enemy shots are pretty accurate, and yeah, along comes this fucking mothership, which I'm going to get rid of pretty quickly. Pretty soon you will start encountering ground targets which are so big you'll crash into them if you fly over them, as my energy bar went too low. Let's use this next life as we start the level from the very beginning, which you do no matter how far you've progressed. Always a favourite feature. Yeah, let's go a little bit faster so we can actually try and progress somewhere and not fly into anything that's obstructing the ground, like that. It's going well. Oh, fucking bollocks. Right, that idea of trying to go fast, yeah, fuck that. Let's just carry on going a slow old rate. Try not to have all the enemy shots going straight through me. It's actually the ground targets that tend to do more damage than the spaceships that are flying around. Now, some of you may recognise the name MicroDeal. They are the people who brought you Gold Runner. And indeed, if you were not aware of that, you soon are as you play the game, because you'll notice that some of the ground objects have been lifted straight from Gold Runner, and there is no attempt to hide that fact. I mean, they look identical. They haven't even changed the fucking colours. Fucking hell, I take too many hits. It's game over. I didn't even get to show one of the game's features. Not that it has very many. Fuck off. All those scores that say Chris, by the way, yeah, they're not me. They're definitely not me. Right, let's get another game underway. So it quickly loads. Oh, it's fucking skipped. I fucking hate that intro sequence. It looks shit and it sounds worse. Right, here we go. Try and actually get somewhere. We'll speed up a little bit. Yeah, that was a fucking good idea, wasn't it? Right, here we go. Fucking hell, I only just fucking managed to avoid all that lot. Right, we'll slow down again because okay, slow down a bit more. Right, now we're starting to see some of the ground features. So I've just gone over one, which really helpfully makes your ship invisible. Quite why it decided to put that in there, I don't know. I think it's more of a hindrance than anything, and you have to avoid it. There are other ones which will speed your ship up, and I mean speed it up. You shoot along at such a fucking rate that you cannot see at all any of the ground-based targets that are coming along, because they just come into view far too fucking quickly. Oh, fuck's sake! And then the bit that really does fuck you off is the fact that when you lose a life, it puts you right back to the start of the fucking level. It doesn't matter how much progress you have made. You could even be, you know, one shot away from completing the level. No, you go right back to the fucking start. On top of that, you will have noticed that my energy is plummeting. There we go, there's the super speed up thing. Yeah, my energy is absolutely plummeting. And you also get some of these ground-based targets which sap your energy as you fly over them. Some of them look like they are supposed to actually increase your energy and give you, actually give you some benefits. They don't seem to work though. They all sap your energy no matter which ones you fly over, which is really fucking good of them. So I've currently taken out 60 targets, but I don't think that's anywhere near enough. And there you go, I flew over a ground-based target there, which was like too high. There are no shadows or shading or anything like that, so you have absolutely no idea if you can or can't fly over a ground-based object until you fly into the fucking thing and explode. So right, so it's loading up again. Right, it's I think I've had more goes of this game in this fucking review than I have at any point in my life. Right, let's get the review. Oh, you fucking sack of cunt! Let's get the review underway, shall we? Presentation. The presentation is fucking shite. That title page, the ship has been lifted, like I say, straight from the artwork for Parallax, the Commodore 64 game from Ocean, which I think was released about 2 years earlier than this thing. That title or starting sequence with that shitty space pilot, it looks like shit and sounds worse. The digitised speech in it is fucking atrocious. Not to mention the blatant fucking rip-off where they've taken the Darth Vader breathing sound from Star Wars and put it in here. How the fuck they got away with that, I do not know. I mean, okay, in those days, the Star Wars license, I mean, it wasn't sort of being, patrolled, as it were, by Disney lawyers, some of the most litigious lawyers on the face of the earth. So it wasn't quite as bad as it is now. But nevertheless, it's not like they would have let people get away with something like this lightly. So I can only assume that they just, Lucasfilm or whatever, just took one look at this and thought, you know what, it's not fucking worth suing them or whatever, because the game is such a fucking load of shit that nobody would care anyway. Now that I just noticed was one of the objects you can't fly over. That's one of the ground objects that was lifted straight from Gold Runner. Fucking hell. I have actually managed to get off the first level once, but once. So I've covered presentation. Graphics. This was 1987, like I say, so an early Amiga game. Nevertheless, Amiga games at this time were really all about, you know, showing off what an Amiga can do. If this was showing off what an Amiga could do, I'm amazed the Amiga sold any fucking units at all. This is as basic and generic looking a shooter as I have ever seen. I mean, and to top it all off, of course, it's not as if the graphics in game are in any way original. Some of them were taken straight from Gold Runner and put into this. So they've made no attempt really to design, you know, a whole new load of graphics. They've just taken things from an existing game that they had done, stuck it into this and called it a new fucking title. Yeah, okay. So yeah, visually I'm not a fan, to put it mildly. I think it looks fucking shit. There are public domain games, and I mean public domain games at the time in '87 that looked more impressive than this and sounded more impressive than this, which brings me neatly on to the audio. The in-game sounds are, I guess, they're bearable, as I use the fucking super zoom thing, which seemed to make my ship explode, but I was able to carry on anyway, and now I genuinely do not have a fucking clue what is going on here. This is not level 2. There's the graphic that's taken straight from Gold Runner. Right, so what does this do? There we go, I've got an extra weapon, but one of those ground-based flashing icons also reversed my controls. So, yeah. I could do without the control reverse, but I could do with that power-up, but I fucking missed it. So here we go again with the fucking super speed, and yeah. So anyway, yeah, getting back to audio, I mean the in-game audio is staggeringly generic really. It's not the worst I've heard, but when it comes to shit audio, nothing in this game, or indeed any other Amiga game, could possibly be as bad as this. That is just absolute shite. What the fuck was that? I mean, that's supposed to be music. I mean, it sounds about as musical as my fucking arse. It really is, you know, just fucking desperate. So I have now actually taken over the game from the demo mode here. And that does cause mean that I've only got one life, and then it goes straight to game over. Yeah, good going. So I'm going to rather regret this, but yeah, I'll have one more go. So yeah, that title music, which is basically an 8-second long loop, is utter shite.
Starfighter ready.
As is that fucking digitized speech. I mean, looking and listening to this game, never mind showing off what the Amiga can do, this game would genuinely have people thinking, hang on, Amiga or Commodore 64, remind me, which one is the superior computer again? Because, I mean, although it does play very slightly different, this game reminds me of Warhawk on the Commodore 64. Now, I don't hate Warhawk, I think it's an okay game, because Warhawk cost £2. This fucking thing was 25 quid. It was a full price game. Who the fuck would have paid 25 quid for this and been happy with that? Who would have said, yeah, this is real value for money, this is just the type of game I was fucking hoping for? That is one of the biggest insults of the whole thing, the fucking price. How the fucking hell could they have the nerve to sit there and say, right, this is definitely it, this is the finished product, this is what we're going to release, and we want 25 quid a time for it. You are fucking joking! But they weren't, they were serious, they did charge 25 quid. Now I don't think, and I'm sure this will come as a big shock to you, that this game was a big commercial success. I've had enough, I really have, I can't play anymore. So if I'm waffling on for long enough, you'll just see demo versions. I can't play it anymore. So there you go, Insanity Fight for the Amiga. Looks worse than a public domain game, plays worse than a Commodore 64 game that you could buy for 2 quid. The audio goes from ultra generic to fucking laughably shite. I mean, it's just a fucking piss take, this thing. I score it 1 out of 10, purely for the comedy value of this absolute shit music. Oh, fucking hell. So there you go, Insanity Fight for Commodore Amiga, 1 out of 10. And if you are looking at this game and thinking, cool, that really does look shit, then, well, you're not wrong. But the next one, in tomorrow's video, just takes shit Amiga shoot-em-ups and raises the bar, actually more like lowers the bar, to the kind of depths previously thought impossible to reach. But when that video starts, you will immediately see why they managed it so well. So yeah, there's something to look forward to. Anyway, that's this one done. Thank fuck for that. I've got to get away from this. Insanity Fight for the Amiga, 1 out of 10, and it doesn't really deserve that 1 out of 10, but it does have the comedy value of that shit music. So yeah, right, that's this one done, and we'll see you at the next one.